Hello and welcome everyone to the AMRAP 5 Open Show. Richard and I are here to share everything about 22.1. And the way this is going to work is we're going to do two AMRAP 5s. First AMRAP 5 is just going to be getting you up to speed on what the workout is. So if you already know all that and you don't need to hear all the standards and things that we're going to share about that, skip ahead 5 minutes and you'll hear our hot takes in the next AMRAP 5. So 10 minutes total, 2 5-minute AMRAPs starting now. You hit them, Richard.
All right, guys. All right. 22.1 is a 15-minute AMRAP of 3 wall walks, 12 dumbbell snatches alternating, and 15 box jump overs. Over being the key word there. The scaled version is partial wall walks, later dumbbells, and you can step over. So that's your basics there. Main thing is, this is a longer time than main for sure. So with 15 minutes, it's going to be a pacer. It's going to be knowing your capabilities, especially on the wall walk. I think for most people, make sure you really warm up your shoulders well going into this. You know, you're going to spend a lot of time up here. So, yeah, I really think, I don't know, Justin, we'll talk about it. The wall walks are the limiter as far as probably strength. And then how fast can you go on the box jumps and still get back to the wall walks and move well, right? And maintain, you know, you're trying to do 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes around. How do you pace that out and look at each piece?
Yeah, I think that's a good picture for like to consider which of the implements do you push, like which of the 3 movements are you going to push on. For example, for me, I know I can push snatches. I know I can like that's a spot of the workout where I can push. I'm probably going to intentionally pace the wall walks, maybe 10 seconds a wall walk. As it gets later into the workout, maybe a little longer than that. But then I know for me, if I push really hard on those box jumps, it's only going to cost me in the following round. So like pacing that in a way that I feel like maybe I'm not recovering, but I'm at least not building fatigue that's going to cost me when I get back to the wall.
And worse and worse.
Yeah. So how are you going to approach it? Your fitness level's higher than mine. You're probably thinking a little bit differently. Or what's your, I guess, take? I guess we got to go over some standards and then we'll do our takes maybe in a minute.
Yeah. So for the wall walks, they have a 60-inch men's line and a 55-inch women's line for the starting spot for the hands. And then 10 inches from the wall is the top. If you're doing scaled, you just have to walk from the first line, behind the first line, and back to the first line. Dumbbell snatch, full extension overhead. You can switch anywhere, and both dumbbell heads must touch. And then for the box jump overs, you must jump up with 2 feet, but you must step down. There's no rebounding. So you must step down. So you can do these laterally or facing. You can turn every time. But the standard is you must step down.
Yeah. And I think with stepping down, don't forget that the Achilles will still be taking a lot of, you know, this is a lot over the course of 15 minutes. So being mindful that like stretching the Achilles before, not a bad idea. Because a lot of people tend to step down on the same. Yeah. Well, a lot of people tend to step down on the same foot, even on both sides. So they don't alternate.
Oh yeah.
So being mindful that like you might have one leg that's going to get a lot. So yeah, that's it. And I actually really respect CrossFit for doing that, because that's probably the biggest reason we haven't seen box jumps like this without, you know,
without a
burpee or something else. Yeah. Because we don't want to see that bounding. So this is the evolution of the sport, I think, in the sense of like this first stage, we're not going to allow bounding, which makes
and I don't honestly know if I think that rebounding box jumps is really a true expression of fitness. It's just I don't know. I mean, it's the kipping thing, I guess, but yeah, it's good to see that for average people. Like, love your Achilles. Like, they're not easy to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said like the main thing for me I'm looking at is like I'm a taller guy, so box jump overs are going to be pretty sweet spot. So for me, then it's like, all right, well, like how much can I push the wall walks, and how can I get through them quickly so that I'm not spending a lot of time under tension. So there's a lot of good videos out there. Watch wall walk technique, people. All right, like people, they're looking up, they're bent, their backs are arched, right? Like you look through, you press, you keep your belly hollow, you reach the legs back first, which is also the standard. But you make sure you're pushing back to the wall, not using your shoulders. Like there's so many good videos. Training Think Tank has one. Pamela Gagnon has one. Mayhem has a piece like find somebody and like watch somebody do a wall walk well. And then because it's only 3, and I know there's a lot of the other stuff, but you all know how to do dumbbell snatches. You know how to do box jump overs. The skill of the wall walk separates when that fatigue builds up.
Yeah. And take time with that skill because it looks different this year than last year. Yes, these are both wall walks last year and this year, but there is a different line situation in the standard. So the line last year, it may be easier for you this year. It may be harder depending upon, because it's just the same for everyone female and everyone male, correct?
Yep, correct. Yep. 60 and 55, male, female, respectively.
So
yeah, that's a big one.
Play around with it. Play around with it a little bit, because it might be that you've got really good at wall walks, but now this is a different standard and you got to like fight for it a little more each rep.
Reach a little bit. Yep.
All right. First 5-minute AMRAP is over. Now we just get to spit hot takes. Biggest hot take in this workout for you is blank.
I think that people will live or die on the wall, but I think it's going to be harder than people think. I think 3 is going to be sneaky.
Yeah. I think it's pace. Know your weakness. Yeah. You know, if your weakness is the wall, pace the movement before the wall, which is the box, you know? So like if you want to
somebody watching this will go out way too hot. And if you're that person, please let us know.
Yeah. I think that's what
you're gonna like 6 minutes in and be like,
15 minutes is a long time. So this isn't the one to drink the pre-workout to. This is the one to like go in with your heart rate, like trying to like calm yourself. Like the whole workout, you're trying to bring your heart rate down. You're trying to have a sustained pace as opposed to like peaks and valleys. So thinking about something you can hold, or at least thinking through, I know mentally I got to get through these 3 wall walks in X amount of time, and then hop on those snatches, get them done real quick, because most people can get through 10 snatches pretty quick. And then during these box jumps, I get a rest. 12. Then during these box jumps, I get a rest and I get to bring my heart rate down. But 12 for most athletes, 12 is not something you're going to break up. So
switching.
Yeah. You know,
make sure on those. I actually, one of my notes here, it just says RIP spinal erectors, which means on the dumbbell snatches, when you get tired, nobody wants to bend their legs because it makes breathing harder. So we just bend over at the waist, and then the next day your lower back is pissed. So make sure you at the very least give it some love afterwards. Maybe bend those legs a little bit, grab that thing.
Literally every time I've ever done 18.1, which has been way too many times, my back the next day is so blown up. Yeah. I mean, I think just finding a rhythm on the box jumps. If you're like one of those springy people who could just bounce back and forth, awesome, good for you. But if you're one of those who kind of has to load,
practice lateral and facing. Practice both.
Yep.
Fast lateral, it's a better option, but it's a little bit more intensive. If you turning every time is quicker, like for me it is, but I get kind of dizzy because I just do this over and over and over, rep for rep. But practice both those kinds and stay near the box. Don't walk away from the box. You're gonna lose so much time. Just take another jump, like slow, keep moving if you have to, but don't walk away from the box.
One of the things that was helpful for me last year with the wall walks was asking my judge to cue me when I could come down, when I met the standard. So like talk to your judge ahead of time and be like, hey, can you tell me when my hands hit the line? Because sometimes your eyes aren't really looking down at your hands. Like that's kind of an unnatural position. Not that you're looking up, but that it can be hard to know when you've met the standard. So having your judge, or even when you get back to the back line, it can be hard to like, so I, as a judge last year, was like good when they would touch the back line so that they knew they could come back out, and then good when they got the rep, or I would call out the number of the rep it was. So have a judge, maybe ask your judge if they can communicate that stuff to you, because that can be helpful as an athlete to not, last thing you want to do is do a wall walk and get no rep at the end, because, oh dude, that's super defeating. Yeah.
Yep. So I actually have one other hot take, and it's not about this workout, but I was wrong about the wall walks. So I've just been watching a lot of ESPN in my life, right? And I'm going to take my Stephen A moment here, right? Justin Medeiros does not podium this year. That's my hot take.
That's your hot take, Justin Medeiros.
I think we've gotten so spoiled by people like Matt and Tia and Rich, who just had, on top of unbelievable gifts, a little bit of good luck, that things always seem to work out a little bit in their favor, right? I don't think that continues to happen. I think that's a dying breed. If he's top 3, all right, but I don't think he wins. I don't think he has it.
I love that you were like, I was wrong about wall walks. So
I was.
I'm gonna go in on another super popular take. Medeiros isn't gonna
Yep.
podium. Like everyone's
Yep.
upset. That's great. No, I mean the amount of mullet craze that exists in CrossFit right now, you're gonna have the mullet mafia against you, man. They're gonna be coming after you.
I'd probably root for him more if he cut the thing off. I mean, oof. There's
yeah, go ahead.
what was it? I don't know. I saw a meme somewhere. It's like bullying's not acceptable unless it's a mullet. And then like I was like,
I mean, I was wrong too because I said that the repeat could be last year's backwards. So that's not going to happen unless wall walks are showing up twice.
Other hot take, 13.4. That's going to be the repeat. Toes to bar, clean and jerks.
Oh, I would be okay with that.
Actually, awesome. I might have inside info to what the other, like one of the pieces is, but because it's.
We'll see you next week for another AMRAP 5 to see what 22.2 is